Oh, well, today was my day off from work, and I decided that I was going to go ahead and do some improvements on the van. After my last video, I kind of did a walkthrough of what it looks like inside my van and, how I have things basically set up. I did mention my electricity briefly, pointing towards my coffee talk video, where I show how I have my electricity hooked up, basically from my battery to my inverter. I would manually, every day that I'd use it, have to jump out and connect some jumper cables, and I had to continuously run my van so the battery wouldn't deplete itself. So since that video, I decided, I need to get away from having to jump out every time I want to use my inverter. And plus I need, a better draw that's not directly off of my van battery. So I decided to go ahead and do some improvements on that as inexpensively as possible. Now, I went out and bought myself a marine battery. It's a 105 amp hour marine battery that I got for, I think after tax it came to $104. I went out and purchased that, and basically that's what got the ball rolling. I already have the inverter, so I didn't need to go out and buy anything like that. So I was thinking that I wanted to do it more permanently installed, so I don't have to jump out every time I use it. So I went out and got myself a disconnect switch, a little kill switch that I could actually run off of the jumper cables that I'm using here. I don't know what I'm doing. I've never done this before, so if you guys see anything that looks off, it looks wrong, please let me know. Like I said, I did this as inexpensively as possible with absolutely no understanding of how any of this works. So I just bought myself a kill switch, some wire clamps, and some other cables to get everything hooked up here. I don't know about the charging capacity of it, or how well it charges yet. I have to run my battery down so I can actually see if it's charging. I have a full battery right now, so I know it's getting power. I just don't know if it's charging. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look. So looking from the front of the van, under the hood, you can see I have the jumper cables that are just directly connected to the battery. So basically, I have it just running from there straight through, and I just kind of close it up inside the door there, as well as under the hood. You can see how it kind of bends there, and after time it will have its wear and tear, but right now it holds pretty damn well. Anyway, now, so I got it running inside, and I wanted to do this so I didn't have to jump out every time, and to also have it to where I can manually turn it on and off from the driver's seat. So when I go and pull away, I can turn it on and charge the battery while I'm driving. So anyway, as you can see, I got the jumper cables that run inside, and I just used little hooks. I already had these on hand, so I didn't have to purchase anything, and I just literally screwed them in all the way down through, into the interior of the van. I don't care about the interior look. So what I did is I went ahead and split the jumper cables, and you can see I did some zip ties on there to hold them back together, and I basically just cut the red wire. Now, I've seen it where people use the negative and cut that, but I've also seen it where people are using the positive and cutting that. I don't know what the correct way is. This is just how I did it. I went with positive. I cut the positive, so there was two pieces. I got some wire connectors, very inexpensive. I mean, the jumper cables were, I think, like 12 or 13 bucks for a 16-foot set. These like 50 cents for two of them. And all I did was basically put the wire into the clamps and clamped them down real tight, and I just put some electrical tape around it just so there's no frayed wire that pops out over time, and did that on both sides. So the positive is connected to this both sides here, and that continues on down, and I have it hooked all the way so it's out of the way. It's not going to be in my way. and it just basically goes back under the seat to where I have the battery. Okay, so I'll go ahead and walk around and show you that. Now the setup that I do have is not exactly permanent. This is kind of a trial and error process. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know exactly how I want to set it up, where I want to set it up. So I have it to where I can go ahead and take it down, move it around if I need to, very easily. Trial and error. I don't know exactly how it's going to work about. But anyway, I got it running all the way from the front battery back behind the seats towards the passenger side of the van. That's where I have my battery box right now and my inverter in the back. See how it comes in just from behind the back seats, and I got my battery box. It's basically in the slide door of the side of my van, so you can see it's just right there on the base. I do have it in a battery box, and so the way I did it is I already had my inverter, and I just needed to connect my inverter to the battery and then my other battery to this battery. So I went out and got myself some cables here. It cost me like $8 or $9 to get the 2 cables, and I just run those to both the negative and the positive smaller terminals here on the sides. Okay, so that is connected. Now I don't have this turned on right now, but as you can see, green light came on the inverter. It does work. All right, and I also went ahead, I got a little battery tester, and I'll go ahead and hook that up real quick just so you can see that it is a full battery right now, and I can't really see if it's charging quite yet. So I hook those up, and then when I look at it here, it's showing I have 100%. Cranking check is good, but the charger check, I don't know if that's working. The alternator check does work. I did test the battery on the van, so you can see it does have a full battery right now. I didn't take the jumper, the clamps off of here yet. I'm gonna get some wire mounts to put onto the terminals itself. So I am going to cut these down just to make it a little bit cleaner. It is a bit of a mess down there. I mean, the wires are not, doable to my standards, but this is just how it's going to work for me for now. But you can see I have my inverter down there. I got it both connected to the negative and the positive, which comes up, connects to the negative and then the positive here, and then the big clamps go up to the battery. So now to show you this is working, I'll go ahead and take the clamps off now. I do not have the kill switch engaged, so I'll go ahead and set that right there so you can see it. And just to show you that there is no power, I'm going to touch these. Nothing. Okay, so the kill switch is disengaged, and I'll go and set those there, and I'll come back around. What I'm going to do is it comes with a little key switch that actually goes in here, and the way I mounted this is I just got a couple screws on the inside of there that hold it in. I actually just popped out the whole face of the vents here, and I just kind of made it so it was in between the vents and the actual the bottom here. So it is sturdy, it's stable, it's not going anywhere. I didn't do anything special to make that happen. So anytime I am working on the van, I do pull the fuse out from under below here. This fuse actually runs all the lights, the inside lights, door lights, anything that's running off of my battery is turned off when I pull that fuse, so I can keep my doors open and everything's good. Anyway, this guy right here is the key that goes to the disconnect switch here. So basically all you do for that is you put it in, push, and give it a full turn. Okay, it should, not a full turn, but a half turn. It should go all the way around. It will connect. Right now that is connecting and drawing to my battery. All right, so back around here where I have the jumper cables, I'm going to show you that now that the switch is engaged, so are the wires. Let's see if I can do this without killing myself. Oh, maybe. Let's try this again. So I'm going to show you that this is now engaged, touching metal to metal. Oh, there it goes. So metal to metal. All right. So now you can see that it does work. I still got to check to make sure that it does charge. But I am now excited to say that I do have electricity that I produce inside my van and store in a battery bank. I have connected to my inverter, and I'm no longer drawing directly off of my van battery. I don't have to run my van every time I use it. So now I got everything connected on here, and you saw that there is a full battery, and you know, now it's just a matter of checking to make sure everything is going to work. I don't know how fast it charges while running. These are all still tests that I'm going to do, and I will definitely keep everybody informed of how it all works out for me.